Hello random people, welcome to Random Garage, the channel where we're always doing something. Today on Random Garage we've got the 2020 Road King, and you may notice got in a little bit of a literal fender bender here, so taking the opportunity to change out that rear fender for a Hofmann Designs carbon fiber fender. And I've already got first generation Hofmann Designs short front fender on here, but changing that out for the newer model that he has with lighter, thinner carbon fiber and extended length fender. Here's the box with the new fenders in it. It almost feels like there's nothing in there. I honestly think that perhaps the cardboard box itself weighs more than both fenders wrapped up with all this bubble wrap, and of course the hardware and mounting brackets for the front fender are in there too. Okay, so here's these new fenders then. Got them in primer gray because got the intention to paint them anyway. Real nice. Hofmann Designs sticker inside of there. Super lightweight. This one here we can definitely see the length difference on this extended length one versus the shorty version. Oh, look at that, the front edge of that's a little that's not so cool. A little banged up there. What's that now? Well, that kind of sucks. I guess final paint will cover that up, sand that smooth, you know, a few coats of paint and clear coat, that'll disappear. All right, so I'll start on the front. I'll pull out the fender bolts, 4 of them, and then we'll do some comparison between this fender, the new extended one, and the original, which I have in a box. Got to pull that out. So the way these fenders are set up is there's that spacer block right there on each side, because the fender's skinnier than the stock one. The stock one, you know, just butts right up to the fork legs there. I'll show the difference, but this original kit with this original fender has been updated a little bit, and the blocks are, those mount blocks are a little fancier and lighter weight. Okay, so here we got the original fender off the bike, the current Hofmann Designs extended length carbon fender, and the OG Hofmann Designs shorty fender. As I mentioned before, a little thicker carbon fiber. Now he's, I guess, improved his design, and it's thinner and lighter weight. This fender, still in almost brand new condition. There's, I don't know, 25,000 miles on it on 2 different bikes. Got this one back in 2019, originally on my Road Glide, which accidentally totaled out, and the fender came out unscathed. Real heavy, durable gel coat on it. So measure these for comparison here. That looks like it is a solid 1/8 inch thick. Okay, and now the new, his updated design, visibly very much thinner. That is half the thickness. That's 1/16 of an inch thick. Okay, now let's get out the scale and weigh these things. I don't know if I'm even going to get a result, because the scale I've got is only accurate to well, it reads single decimal of a pound, but it only reads even numbers, 0.0, 0.2, 0.4. So we'll give it a whirl and see what happens here. Okay, so with a bathroom scale, you know, they're not accurate at small weights. So what I like to do is weigh myself, and then weigh myself holding the object I want to weigh, and then just subtract. First, okay, 155.2 as is. Now with this thing in hand, 160.8. So that is 5.6 pounds for the stock metal fender. Then the OG carbon shorty fender, 156.6, so that's 1 pound. As I said, we're only accurate to 0.2 of a pound. Now with the new one, oh, that feels lighter than the shorty. Well, the scale says 1 pound. Even though this fender's longer, with it being half the thickness, I think it's less weight than the shorty fender, but I don't have a gram scale or anything to get an accurate measurement weight on these things, but they're significantly lighter than the stock one, of course. Now, the comparison of the hardware kits now, this is the original one from 2019. I don't remember that there was flat washers with it. I'm sure there wasn't, or else I probably would have used them. And the little spacer brackets are just, very simple. Now, the new updated spacer brackets, it's either a lot lighter weight, but they still got, the spacing portions. And then also now the hardware kit, instead of just the bolts and the flange washers, we have flat washers too. I'm not sure exactly where those are supposed to go, but I'm thinking probably between the spacer and the fender, because in the old style, the spacer, the entire side of it would sit against the carbon fiber fender. And now on this one, well, I guess unless I put them so this side's against the carbon fiber and this side's towards the bike. But if I put them the other way, I'd probably want to put that flat washer between here and the actual fender to give a little more area of support to that carbon fiber, which on the newer fender is half as thick as the old one. It didn't come with any instructions, so I guess I'll just throw this together the way that I think is best. Okay, so I decided to put them this way so that the long flat side of the spacer is against the fender and the protrusion there is towards the fork lower. I'm not going to use the flat washers because I really don't see a place for them. Obviously they can't go under the head of the bolt in there. They didn't really seem like they were needed somewhere in here, and if anything they would go under the nut, but the nut is a serrated flange nut, so you don't use a washer under a serrated flange nut like that, because the serrations are supposed to provide a locking mechanism, and the diameter of the washer is the same as the diameter of the flange anyway. So as far as pressure, surface area on the carbon fiber, there was nothing to gain by adding the flat washers. So then I'll just put a little blue Loctite inside each of those nuts and tighten my bolts up. Okay, so there's that. That looks like hell, but I am going to paint it. Got to decide what to do for color scheme exactly. Primarily white, I'm sure, pearl white to match the rest of the bike, but it's a nice look. I like that extended length on the back. It's pretty slick. Now for the rear. So you see right away there's some work that's going to need to be done here, because there's no holes in the back for license plate or tail light, as we have. I've got these Kuryakin filler panel lights in the rear which function as tail, turn, and brake. So I can just reuse those, and I can eliminate the center tail light altogether. Oh, except for if I do that, then I don't have a license plate light. So that's a thing. So for the time being, I could just use those, and then at some point add some other lights into the fender. Some small LEDs or something. Perhaps the Polyaffi Bagger Nation lightning bolts. Those are small, super bright. I could French them in there to have extra rear end lighting. And as far as the license plate goes, I could find a license plate holder surround that has the LED light built right into it. So then I'll get lighting right on my license plate. Or did this one have it? There's a recess up there, but that's not light. Oh, hell, yes it is. I totally forgot that my license plate surround does have a light in it. So I can reuse that. Although then there's this thing here was to replace the holes for the OEM light bar that was on there. So that's gonna look a little goofy initially. Either way, I'm gonna have to find a different license plate holder solution, but for the time being, I guess this one that's on there will get me by, maybe. I can't remember exactly how it mounted, so as we go through this, be a test fit, and we'll figure it out. Guess I was wrong. These Kuryakin side things aren't brake function right now. But I could probably rewire the adapter harness to get them to work as brake. They are just turn signal. Just taking note of things that are going to need to be addressed here, but so one step at a time. Let's just start by test fitting this fender here. So start by getting the saddlebags off, of course. Just flip them open and unscrew these keepers, and then the bags just lift right off. Got the seat out of the way too, and then right away it occurred to me that, you know, the seat nut thing there, and that, yeah. Something else I got to add in. Not a big deal. And I'll go and cut my tie wraps and unplug my rear wire stuff here so that I can, you know, pull the fender and I'm not tethered. So I'll get these Kuryakin filler lights out of the way. Obviously they're not stock, but they're just held in by a Phillips head screw and this little bracket on each one. These bolts are going to have to come out to get the saddlebag supports off, and they're blocked by the plastic here on the bottom of these lights, so these otherwise would be able to just come off with the side support bracket, but they're in the way of those bolts, so off they come. So I didn't cut my tie wraps and pull my wire off, pull the light completely off, just with the brackets loose. Now it lifts up enough so I can get at the bolt heads here. Those two bolts are different sized. See, one's got a nut that you need a 1/2 inch wrench for, and that one's a 9/16 because it's a 5/16 bolt and a 3/8 bolt. And then the heads are different too. The larger one takes a T45 and the smaller one a T40 Torx bit. So we'll grab a 3/8 socket and pull out this bolt that holds this seat strap support bracket on the bike. I leave that on there even without a seat strap just because I like having this tie down point right here when carrying luggage. So then after these lower bracket bolts are out, then there's 4 fender bolts left. There's one in that hole and there's another one hiding behind here. So this whole fender strut has to come off. So we'll pull this bolt out, and then these two here for the backrest or tour pack support bracket have to come out, and this one here is also holding this on to the fender strut. Then that'll pull off and we can get at the other fender bolt under there. Got the T45 to take out this bolt and this bolt. Then we get out the T40 Torx bit for this bolt, and then this support strut will come right off. Okay, so now I get my T40 Torx bit again and take out this bolt and this bolt on each side, and the fender comes right off. So there, the fender's off. This bag strut is bowed, replacing that, so let's just pull off the muffler support, 1/2 inch wrench on or socket on those two bolts, and then 3/16 Allen and 7/16 end wrench on that bolt, and this will slide right out of here. So there, got that off. Just gonna have to pull this rubber isolator and the little exhaust bracket piece off of this one and shove it into the new one and reinstall that. Okay, then I'll quick strip this stock fender down. I need these things for mounting it, and that's one thing that Hofmann did supply is the cutouts there for those mounting nut deals to go in to actually mount it, and also he provided that stud for that lower bracket right there, so you get the tail support that's required. I'm going to take off my license plate mount and tail light too, and this bracket here, pretty simple. That's you know, would be if you had a solo seat, it would attach there. Get that off, wiring harness, everything, and then we'll go weigh the stock fender versus the carbon fiber Hofmann Designs fender. So both these inner and outer nuts here are 3/4 inch wrench size. Those are going to be a 7/16, as is this stud here, and then 1/2 inch here to get, well, that's my license plate mount, but it would otherwise be the light bar. And then, of course, the center tail light itself is just screws on the outer cover and then a Phillips head screw on the inside. Well, of course, the seat nut, too, you just pull this little plastic clip off this direction, and then the nut just falls right out the bottom. I guess if you've never seen this, once you take out, you know, these 2 side screws on the outer lens, then the only thing holding the center taillight on is just this big screw in the center, which is, you know, into a J-nut style clip on the fender there. All right, then, got that fender all stripped. So let's go find out what they weigh. All right, let's start with the base weight again, 154.8. Now, pick up the stock fender, 161.8, so that's 7 pounds. And the Hofmann carbon fender, 156.8. So now we'll put these mounting support nuts here into the new fender. They got kind of a flat-sided, you know, ovalish shape to them. So get them in there. Oh, look at that. And washer there, and then the big nut. And I'm going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on there just to keep them, but don't want to crank them down real tight, you know, because you just distort, or, you know, you wouldn't want to crack the carbon fiber, you know, and same with a sheet metal fender, you wouldn't want to crank them down too tight and distort it, but they should be snug anyway so that they hold the fender in place, and the Loctite will help keep them from coming loose. Okay, then we got this brand new tail end support bracket here, because the other one was all twisted up, and that just goes on like that with that tab pointed downward, and then we'll put the flat washer and 1/4 inch lock nut on there, get that into place. I mean, there was a slot in there, so there's a little bit of slop there for adjustment, so I'll just snug it up for now, just, I don't know, at the one end of the adjustment. And then when installing it on the bike, then might have to, you know, let it loose and let it rest into the whatever position it wants to be in. So there, toss the fender mounting bolts back in there, and now it's starting to look like something again. So I got the seat set on there so I can mark where my seat nut is going to go. I don't think I'll reuse that Harley seat nut. I think I'll use Paul Yaffe Baker Nation has a neat aluminum one. It's pretty cool. I'll get one of those, put that in instead. But so I could just mark where I'm gonna put that, but perhaps maybe I should put the side brackets back on first to make sure my fender is perfectly sitting in its final home before I go and start marking things to drill. Well, that sucks. Now, this was supposed to be a new left side saddlebag support bracket, but here's the damaged left side. This new one is unfortunately a right side bracket. I hope the side support bracket wasn't a right side too. I guess I better check that. Okay, no, it says left hand, so at least that bracket's right. So I don't know why I would get some mistake in the shipping or something, I guess, but you know, everything was left side. Yep, indeed, it says it right there. Tube assembly lower right hand. Not the one I need, but I don't think it'll hold up the project too much anyway, because got all this custom lighting and wiring to do anyway, which is going to take, you know, some more parts ordering, license plates around, who knows, maybe a few days anyway, but it's not like it's riding season. Starting to look like a bike again. Progress. Okay, so got the fender set up here, custom dynamics, license plate holder, there's LEDs up in here for lighting. Yeah, Paul Yaffe Baker Nation seat nut there. That was pretty easy install. Just drill a big hole and nut holds it on the back. Took the original conduit here out of the old fender, cleaned it up, stuck it in the new fender with, I mean, you could use 3M VHB double-sided foam stuff, whatever. I use the Gorilla Tape brand stuff. It's good, waterproof, weatherproof, everything. And then my wires for the LEDs for the license plate holder there. Just you know, ran that through, put a little connector on there, and this is the piece from the original tail harness that went through here, and I just cut the end off. The red and yellow is you know, accessory power, so that's the power for the license plate light. Black ground, put the mating connector on there. The other ones I just cut off. I individually wrapped each tip in case I want to use them in the future. I wanted to leave a little something to work with. Yeah, individually wrapped each one so they don't cross over, and then just, you know, put a heat shrink on the end there just to keep them contained. Okay, so I got all that slapped back together. You know, everything plugged back in under the seat. However, though, so now since I eliminated the center tail light, the bike body control module doesn't know that. So turn it on here. Is that, and we got blinkers or flashers. I'll just turn the flashers on. Flashers, okay. Same flashers, blinkers would work. But if I can step on the brake here, stepping on the foot brake, and there's no brake lights, because of course normally just the center tail light would do the brake light. So I'm going to use the TechnoResearch tool to tell the BCM that the bike no longer has a center tail light, so then it'll send the brake signal to the tail turn lights, more like Road King or Street Glide or Road Glide Special. So we got the TechnoResearch launcher pulled up here. Of course, we're plugged in, and then the cable to the data port on the bike. We're gonna go right here. It takes a minute to load. There it is. Accept English. Obviously, I've only got like a 2021 license on here, so it's asking me to update to 2023 if I want. No, there's the main screen. Let's turn the bike on. There, and then go here to talk, connecting. There, it's all good. Meter. There we go. It's 35 degrees in the garage, or 42, somewhere in that range apparently, according to the engine temp and the air temp. All right, anyhow, we're gonna go up here to settings. There we go. Whoop, wait, cancel. All right, and then we're gonna change the body control module, TSSM, blah, 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 BCM right there. We don't need trouble codes. We want BCM lights options. And now here it is right here, stoplight, turn signals. What this does then is it means actually if I go and enable it, it makes your turn signals be your stoplight. So that means no center tail light. So go there, going to enable the stoplight to function with the turn signals. Okay. And we wait a second. There, setting, pass, completed. All good. Now you just turn the bike off, disconnect TechnoResearch, and turn the bike back on. And now, when I step on the brake, wow, brake lights. So, see, turn signal, blinking, brakes. Yeah, that's all we need. If you want to see more random garage things, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you get a random notification when a new random garage video is posted. As always, thanks for watching, and remember, whatever you do, make sure you're always doing something.